Much needed W for the Raptors this evening after the awful one against the Cavs, taking on the Chicago Bulls, a team that's really trying to catch you in this play-in run, or whatever you want to call it, for the Toronto Raptors. But the Raptors prevail, 104-98 at Scotiabank Arena over the Bulls. Get back in the win column after the loss and are now back to one game under the 500 mark. Before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce, and I know I posted it in some other videos, that I've officially started up the Tik Tok page, and with all the Leafs trades that were done today, I've been posting some content to that, so I would really love it, and I'll post Raptor stuff, and when I'm able to, I will be posting literally live reactions while the game is going on. Like for the sequence I'm trying to talk about a little bit later on in the video, like, I will upload a video of them showing the replay, me getting all jacked up live. Or when a trade drops and I'm out and about or something, you'll get the video right then and there on the TikTok page. All the breaking stuff, all just fun stuff. Questions I'll fire out to you guys when I'm feeling it. Whatever the case may be, it'll be on there. So if you guys are interested in that, follow up the link down below. I'm going to put it there. Because we're going to start getting into that. I want to really heavily get into the TikTok page. I know how big of a platform it'll be for the page, because you guys have already joined this immensely, and I can't thank you enough, and I'm hoping that we can build something on there as well. So, with that being said, let's break down this basketball game for the Toronto Raptors. Now, the first three, let's be honest, weren't the prettiest basketball game. But in that fourth quarter, watching what OG and Scotty did on the defensive end was remarkable. But let's start in the first quarter. Neither team could get their offense flowing. It's 24-23, Raptors up 1 at the end of the first quarter. And what you noticed as this game was going along, Jakob Poeltl was getting his way offensively, ended the game with 14 on 6 and 9 shooting, and he did a fine job. But Vucevic was getting his way. And again, he's a stretch 5, right? He can play, he can shoot the 3, and Jakob Poeltl, when he's coming off screens, is usually backing off a bit, right? Because he likes to get guys going downhill. But with Vucevic, he's totally comfortable taking threes, taking shots from distance, and he was doing that. I think he ended the game with like 23 or something. And in that second quarter, the Raptors' offense, again, was not going. Fred was struggling in his first game back. Congrats on having the new little one, Fred. But not the best first game back for sure. And in that second quarter, Scotty wasn't getting his offense, wasn't making shots. Fred wasn't making shots. But neither were the Bulls. It was 23-20 Chicago in that quarter, and the Raptors are down by 2 at the half. But this is another game where the Raptors' offense just really has not been going. I think we talked about it in the Cleveland game, where the Raptors did not have a quarter where they had 30 points. Like, it was pretty bad. And through the first 3 quarters, we're in that same mold. It was 26-26 in the third quarter. Chris Boucher knocked down a couple threes. We're feeling okay about ourselves, right? But either way, you're still down 2 heading into the fourth. And in that fourth quarter, we saw some pretty damn good things. First off, you saw Nick Nurse say, okay, you want to keep putting Vucevic in the pick and roll and, getting Yak to back off and keep getting that switch? Fine. Yak, you ain't playing the fourth quarter. And a lot of people are probably like, whoa, okay. I mean, Jakob Poeltl ended the game. I'm not going to say a stat line after this, but 14 points, 3 boards, couple of 6, was 6 and 9 shooting, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, had 3 steals and 2 blocks, was a plus 13. I mean, those are really good numbers. However, if you look at, and I'm going to try and pull it up here on the fly, and it's sideways because I have the clip ready to go for myself to look at. But Vucevic ended the game. 23 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 9 of 14 shooting, knocked down 4 threes. You had to make that adjustment. And Nick, boldly did not play Yak in the fourth quarter. And the way OG and Scotty were able to contain DeMar and contain Zach LaVine, they were able to keep them off the offense. The most points the Bulls scored in a quarter was 26. They scored 26 in the third and fourth quarter and 23 in each of the first 2 quarters. But the difference in the fourth quarter was the ball movement. And I thought Scotty was an integral part of that on offense. OG, as much as I'd love to see him take a few more threes, watching him drive on guys is kind of scary, except when he drove on DeMar and threw it down was quite nasty with like 6 minutes to go. But let's talk about this sequence from Scotty Barnes. And it lifted the roof off the crowd because they ended up taking a 6-point lead, I believe, after the play. Now, Raptors coming down the floor, it gets kicked to Gary, and he has Zach LaVine closing out on him. You think Gary's going to take the three anyways. No. And here comes Scotty out of nowhere, flying down the lane, gets the contact from DeMar trying to take the charge, gets the and one, starts giving a little bit of that. Beautiful job from Scotty. Then he blocks Colby White at the rim. Drummond gets a rebound, blocked by Scotty Barnes. Scotty then gets the rebound, pushes the fast break, finds Pascal in transition, throws it down. And that's a 6-point advantage for the Raptors. So let's do some math here, right? I can't remember. Did Scotty get that free throw? Let's say he did. I can't remember if he was 1 of 3 from the line, but I can't remember if he got that one or not. Let's say he did. That was a 2-point swing. Actually, you know what? That wasn't all right in between, back-to-back plays. But the job that Scotty did in that little sequence to build it up, because going into that sequence, it was a 1-point contest. It was 83-82. Meanwhile, Scotty gets the 2 points. Let's say he gets the N1, right? Let's say he makes that free throw. Actually, you know what? He was 0 of 2 to start. So he ended the game 1 of 3. He made that free throw. He got the 2 and the foul. Then he blocks 2 shots to the rim, comes down the floor, gets the assist on another 2. That's a massive swing right there for the Toronto Raptors in that fourth quarter with 7 minutes to go to build your lead up to a 2-possession lead up 6. And yeah, they brought it down a bit. The lead ended up getting to 9 at one point, and they just did a really nice job of closing it out, not going too crazy with it, right? Got the free throws at the end, and then just to put it away, off a missed free throw from OG, Scotty throws it down off the rebound, because they weren't boxing out or anything, and to seal the deal as the Raptors win it by 6, 104-98. Absolutely incredible job from the Toronto. My math might have been wrong with the scores, because I don't think this adds up. Yeah. Oh, no, they won the fourth quarter by 8, 34-26. I thought that fourth quarter was a phenomenal job in the offensive end from Scotty, just kind of running the point, doing his thing out there. A really, really good job. Defensively, I thought OG was just locked down. What did we say in the last video, guys? I mean, it's incredible how much things can flip on a dime. We talked about in that Raptor game against the Cavs. Well, who was the primary assignment for OG? It was Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell had 35 and 31 minutes, and that was it. He didn't bother playing the rest of the game because it was over very early. And OG was absolutely horrendous defensively in that game. Probably one of the worst we've seen in a while. Then he says, don't worry about it, fellas. I got you. Goes up against DeMar DeRozan, a guy who is averaging, let me pull these up. He's averaging 25, 5, and 5, let's say. Averaging 4.6 boards, but I'll round it up. 25, 5, and 5 on the season. What did DeMar have today? 13 points, 0 rebounds, 2 assists. Okay, if you want to look at Zach LaVine's numbers. What is Zach LaVine averaging on the season? 24, 4, and 5. What does Zach LaVine have tonight? 17, 2, and 3. OG Anunoby locked down tonight. And this is a pure example for the Raptors of when they are healthy, what they can do in the fourth quarter, more in particular, when they're healthy. Because look, defensively was never an issue tonight. It was the offensive flow, not being able to convert off of turnovers. At one point, they had seven turnovers, leading only 2 points. So it was a struggle in that sense. But when you watch OG, how many times, guys, have we watched OG play defense, and then for some reason there's a help defender coming over to help him when he doesn't need the help, and that guy that they were covering is wide open for 3? Well, tonight was a night where you watched OG play on DeMar, lock him down, and, when it needed to be switched, because that's the thing with Vukovic, right? They didn't want even Scotty getting switched on to Vukovic because of the defense that he was playing. They at one point had to bring over someone, who was it? It was Gary's guy who ended up closing the game. Gary didn't start, but he was fantastic and ended up closing the game. The Raptors did a phenomenal job defensively today, more in particular in the fourth quarter when they needed stops. And the offense, as much as it's been herky-jerky over the last few games, 3 games, in the fourth quarter, when you needed it to be great because you were down 2 going into the fourth, you got it done. And finally, a 30-point flipping quarter. They scored 34 there. Let's get to these player stats. We talked about Jakob Poeltl. OG, look, this is more like OG. This is the OG Anunoby experiment. You're going to get kind of jaggy, drives from him, causing I think he had 3 turnovers in the game, so it can be ugly at times. Had 17 points, 8 rebounds, couple assists, shot 6 of 13 from the field, 3-4 from the line, was 2 of 4 from 3, and he's going to give you lockdown defense. Plus 16 while he was on the floor. Awesome. Awesome game from OG. Fred, 3 points, 6 rebounds, 9 dimes. Obviously did a really nice job facilitating. But other than that, it was kind of a tough night for Fred. 1 of 11 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3. It was a -4 in the game. The -4 was because of when Precious Achiuwa was out there. Man, those were tough minutes to watch. I think he only played like 12 minutes in the game. It was a -14. It was ugly. It was really ugly. And Fred, unfortunately, was out there for that whole sequence. Pascal, let's go to Pascal. Was obviously the main person on offense. Didn't make shots late. And look, that's what Raptor fans are going to get at him for. Look, you were great. You were the primary option. You were great in the first 3 quarters. It's great. But when you needed those buckets in the fourth, he wasn't making those jump shots. But ended the game with 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Shot 7 of 18 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. Was 1 of 5 from 3. Was a +3 while he was on the floor, though. Scotty Barnes. We talked about it right off the top with him and OG being outstanding. 11 points, 8 boards, 4 assists. Not a pretty stat line. 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 3 from the free throw line. But that 3-point shot recently has been pretty good for him. 2 of 3 from distance, 1 steal, 4 blocks. Obviously, 2 of those were on that sequence we showed earlier, and was a +19 while he was on the floor. In a game where you won by 6, OG and Scotty were +19 and +16. There's a reason those guys were the key contributors today. Absolutely outstanding. Gary, off the bench, was great. Had a feeling he was going to come off the bench when everyone was healthy. You got that. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist from Gary, 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line, 5 of 11 from 3, 2 steals in the game. Obviously, when you're coming off the bench, especially with this bench unit, you're going to get shot attempts if you're Gary. So good job for him. Let's get to these team stats before I briefly touch on Will Barton. They shot 52% from the field, 40% from 3, 82% from the line. Really good shooting numbers, but they only had 98 points because the Raptors had 23 more field goal attempts. And they only shot 40% from the field. So, that's wild. 36% from 3. They knocked down 50. They took 42 threes. It baffles me. Sometimes we see this team shoot like 25 threes, and tonight they shot 42. They knocked down 15. I think they only made 10, but they took quite a bit less. They obviously shot better percentage. Raptors were only 68% from the free throw line. I mean, that's been a tough one recently for the Raptors, but again, they won tonight, so it is what it is. This is where they won, though. The glass. They were +12 in the rebounds. I think it was like 57-45 on the glass, +13 in the offensive boards. Turnovers, they had 19 turnovers. Raptors only turned it over 11 times. And off of those turnovers, we talked about it, right? They only had 2 points off of the first 7 turnovers. They ended up with 19 turnovers. That's 12 more. Raptors ended the game with 21 points off of turnovers. So they ended up making them pay for their mistakes. 21-14 there. And off of the second chance points, so +13 in the offensive boards, 15-4 in second chance points. The Raptors, they played their game. You get a ton of extra shots. You get turnovers, you cause havoc on the glass, and you win. Quickly, Will Barton. I'm baffled we saw him today, but hey, he's a guy that if you can turn back the clock to the Denver times, and he can shoot 38% from 3 because that's what he does, it's an interesting weapon off the bench. We'll see how it plays out, though. Obviously, in the buyout market, that's where that came from, and it's interesting the Raptors are on the buyout market. Next up for the Raptors, though, they take on the Washington Wizards, Will Barton's former team, for 2 games, both in Washington, starting on Thursday at 7 p.m. Look, big game. We talked about tonight being a big game because Chicago was right up your rear in the playoff spot. Washington, same deal. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and the W today, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game for the Toronto Raptors? The Twitter and Instagram links and the Discord link. And, of course, the all-new TikTok for TO Sports Talk. The link is down below, guys, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys Jay's edition tomorrow, wrapping up the spring training over the past little bit here. Lots of things I want to touch on there. For the Leafs, I'll talk to you guys very shortly. Because what a day it's been. And if you're watching the TikTok, you would have seen it. It's been a day. And as for the Raptors, like we talked about, they're back in action on Thursday as they are in Washington taking on the Wizards. Possibly get back to that 500 mark at 32-32. It would be great. We'll see how it plays out, though. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the W this evening. We'll talk to you guys then.